Currently resident in Northern California, writing is a hobby, competing for Laura's spare time with photography and planting flowers. Her story, Stone Cold, was nominated by the editor for a pushcart, and she completed a creative writing course at Humber College in 2016. Laura, take it away.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Laura Hill. This reading is from Canyon City Chuckle, which is an alternate history steampunk, as published in the Dark Owl Past anthology, Something Wicked This Way Rides. This story is set in the traditional territory of the Kwanlun First Nation, the Quachin Council. Canyon City Chuckle. Heston's glass eyes rolled as black flies buzzed inside the green sapphire orbs. A fly landed to drink in the mucus that drained down his porcelain cheek. He blinked, feather lashes fluttering as he tried to focus. Chestnut hairs of his horsehair wig quivered. A chuckle rasped from Emo the innkeeper's belly and out whiskered jowls. Flies is bad this year. He stated the obvious and scratched a sweat-stained armpit. Gwendolyn's North Sea gray-green eyes scanned from Heston to Emil. That chuckle had the nervous but determined timbre of single men met in Egypt, Persia, India, Thailand, Japan, and home in England. Behind a facade of kindness, what they wanted was neither moral nor legal to any but themselves. Heston's joints squeaked as he shuffled his boots. Basalt and clay cliffs dropped sheer to a placid beaver pond, held across the breadth of the Yukon River by dams built of trees and boughs by mammoth reticent beaver. Water cascaded over a nitro-blown lake in the lower dam. The giant beaver, as long as her brother Merrill was tall and much wider, was not the reason she opted not to bathe in the pond. If she wanted water, she'd have to haul it, Emil had gloated, eyes on her bust. Gwendolyn preferred to be unbathed and was still cleaner than the dirty lout. "Give me a minute, Heston," she said, squeezing a rubber bulb as she opened a vent behind the curves of a china ear. What Merrill had done with an abacus, gear wheels, steam motor, rubber, and clay astounded her every day. She released the bulb and felt vibrations as flies sucked in. One more. Heston grunted and flexed his rubber fingers, just like she had taught him to relax. Intake of air with extended fingers, regularized compression, with curled fingers to exhaust a puff of steam from his nostrils. Gwendolyn squeezed the bulb to blast the flies out. No point in robbing the local population of bats or birds of their dinner, she thought, as she stepped to place Heston between her and the smelly bulk of Emil. Whiskers twitching, a beaver peered over the two-scarred cottonwood of the lower dam near the break. He disappeared and returned, long teeth around a tree trunk. With a flip and a twist of the beam lodged in place, and the flow reduced to a trickle. Gwendolyn smiled, her russet curls ruffled by a gust. Determination and ingenuity on a large scale, but not mild-mannered. This beaver was as determined as any gold miner to hold a stake. Emil growled his jaw to a square jut. Gossip said he had won Canyon City in a card game because he cheated. Others said the original city builder had lost the card game to be free of the beaver, selecting Emil for his successor because of a threat made to his wife. No amount of nitro would dislodge the giant rodent's architecture. Only a jar thrown down an open throat would have any effect. She hoped the beaver had a strong gag reflex and imagined Emil spiraling in the air with a picture landing on a boggy shore. A smile curled one corner of her lip. "Where did Merrill go?" Heston teetered as he stepped around a cluster of head-sized pink-flushed mushrooms that sprouted beneath a gold-leaf birch to see more of the grounds and surrounding bluffs. Emil snorted and lumbered away to a storage shed. No doubt her pastor father would have something to say about her wish to see him blown skyward by nitro. Perhaps some wishes were too extreme to come true. Heston twitched a mosquito off his painted eyebrow. "He's looking for a way through," she said, "or around, or over." She finished with raised eyebrows. "Is that Merrill?" Heston manually adjusted his binocular vision to the top of the opposite cliff. "I hope he has no intention of flying," Gwendolyn murmured as her brother stood feet together, arms flapping. Arms that long might fly with a greatcoat spread, she thought. He's not going to jump, is he? Heston swayed on the tips of his muddy boots. I doubt it. Merrill has proven to be quite attached to life, she answered. He, steam puffed out, leaving a soot ring round Heston's nostrils. He quite gets up to things, you know. His workshop, inventions, his travels. Heston looked away from Merrill to the shed Emil had gone into. Gwendolyn followed his gaze and looked back at Merrill again. Perhaps he'd crossed the river in their longboat or had dared to meet the giant beaver on its dam. Little more than a year ago, he had stood still in a desert gloaming as a maned lion watched him with fire flicks in its eyes. These Yukon beavers were almost as big as hippos and just as volatile. Merrill stopped flapping and stepped away from the edge. An eagle soared above him and turned into a mocking spiral. Able to match wit and cunning with anyone or animal, he had not yet attempted flight. Are we going to fly to the Klondike? Heston scratched at a port behind his ear. We'll see what Merrill has in mind. The longboat won't make it past the beaver dams, Gwendolyn said, as Emil came out of the shed at a heel-to-toe pace, with a jar balanced on his uplifted palm. Well, everybody else has been getting past this, he sputtered and jerked. Obstacle? Yes, on an expensive tram and switch to other transport on the other side. I'd have to leave all my sketchbooks and architectural drafts behind. Everybody but the gold miners are making money in this boom. She wondered if she and Merrill owned Canyon City by default, if Emil blew himself up while they were here. Thank you.